Hello everyone, welcome to Next Gen Data Aspirants Community YouTube channel. This is Babu. Today in this video what we are going and learning, first of all we are starting a new playlist, that is we are going to give you the complete overview of data flows in Microsoft Fabric. The expectation of this playlist is you will get end-to-end knowledge by end of this playlist about data flows in the Microsoft Fabric. Okay, now let's begin. Here if you see in Microsoft Fabric we have two type of data flows. One is Dataflow Gen1, which is in the purple color logo, and another one is Dataflow Gen2, which is green color logo. See here, if you see, this is green color logo and this is purple color logo. So there are two type of data flows. Fine. Now moving on to the further slide. Here if you see what is Dataflow Gen2 and what you can do with this data flows. See here, if you see, this is a sample snapshot of this data flow. This is sample snapshot of this data flow. So here, so first of all let's see what is this data flow. So data flows is a place where you can clean the data, you can transform the data with low code, no code, with no code. So basically this is a no code tool. Those who are working as a Power BI developers, they would know about what is this data flow. So in Azure Data Factory also we have a concept called data flow. Okay, so now here if you see what we can do with this data flows, the first and foremost, you can connect to your data. So wherever your data is there, we have lot of connectors which is supporting in the Microsoft Fabric data flows. So in subsequent slides I am going to explain you what are those, how many of the connectors are there. In that I'll talk about major connectors. This is first and foremost point, and followed by you can transform the data with low code, no code. When I say low code, no code, you can go and use these options. You can go and use these options directly. Remove the columns, keep rows, remove rows, split the column, group by. This is, and you can load data. Load. So these two are same. You can load data into, and you can automate the process. When I say automate the process, once if you done this, let's say you connected the data from some database, Azure SQL database, and you pull the data into Dataflow Gen2, you did some transformations, and later on top of this data flow you built a Power BI report. Now if there is any data which is added into SQL database, if you call this data flow into Data Factory, Fabric Data Factory, then automatically if you should schedule a daily run, so if there is any new rows addition, automatically that would be reflected into data flows, and subsequently that would be reflected into our Power BI dashboard. Fine. Now here if you see Dataflow Gen1, what is this? Basically Dataflow Gen1 is a Power BI legacy data flows. When I say data flows, I'll tell you one in general name. I call this data flow as a online Power Query editor. If you see in Power BI desktop, we have a component called Power Query editor. So that's why I call this as a online Power Query editor. Now already Microsoft people officially they marked this Dataflow Gen as a legacy workload. So the respective screenshot, it is already here. So this is which is done on very recently, April 2nd. See, data flows. Thank you for 8 years of Gen1, and Gen2 is the future, So here if you see, and Gen2 is the future. Anyhow, I am going to providing this link in this YouTube description URL. I would request you please go through all this thing. Here they are telling about what it will support and which license it will support, and they clearly written everything in this blog. All right. Now when I talk about Dataflow Gen2, this is a advanced version. When I say advanced version, so it would have lot of capabilities if we compare with Dataflow Gen1. Let's see what is those key features in this Gen2. Now here if you see, anyhow what Gen1 and Gen2 both are low code ETL tool, fine. And now when I talk about very important thing, it would support 200 plus connectors library. So it means you can get the data from 200 plus sources. You can get the data from 200 plus sources, and it would have lot of enhanced capabilities as compared to the Dataflow Gen1. And the very recent update is it would support for Git integration and CI/CD capabilities. This is very important feature. And we have a flexible destination. See, from Dataflow Gen2, you can directly push your data to the respective flexible destinations. Let's see what is those few snapshots of connectors and destinations. Here if you see on the screen, you are seeing connectors and destinations. See here if you see, there are web page. You can pull SharePoint list, web API. And here if you see, they are segregated into Azure, online services, Power Platform, databases. And while coming to the destinations, here if you see Azure SQL database, Fabric Lakehouse, Data Explorer, Synapse Analytics, and many more are there. So anyhow, this everything we are going and seeing in the practicals. Now here if you see, what are the currently supported destinations? Here if you see, the first and foremost is Azure SQL database, Azure Data Explorer, Azure Data Lake Gen2, Fabric Lakehouse tables, Lakehouse files, Snowflake database. See, directly they are giving a opportunity. We can push data to Snowflake database, SharePoint files, Fabric SQL, KQL, and Fabric warehouse also. So almost we have 10 data destinations. Currently it is supporting 10 data destinations. Fine. Now let's see what is the difference between Dataflow Gen1 and Gen2 in terms of features. Now here if you see in this table, the first, this is feature, and this is Dataflow Gen2, which is in the green color logo, Dataflow Gen1, which is in the purple color logo. First thing, created data flows with Power Query. Okay, it is supporting in both the ways. Okay, now simpler creation process, simpler creation. So you can create some simple process, but it is not supporting auto save and background publishing. See, this is very important. So this auto save feature only it would applicable on Dataflow Gen2, not in Gen1. Now multiple output destinations. See, as I mentioned earlier, it would support to push the data to direct destination, but here there is nothing is there. Better monitoring and refresh tracking. Yes, here you can schedule the refresh, but here there is no option. So you can call directly this Gen2 in pipelines, but this is not. And there are some high performance computing, but the one thing which is not supporting by Dataflow Gen2, connecting via the Dataflow connector. This is okay, possible. Now here if you see direct query via Dataflow connector, this is possible. Now refresh only change data, this is also in the both the places. AI powered insight, and moreover, so both the Gen1 and Gen2 it would support integrated inbuilt AI tool which is called Copilot. And here you can see the recent data shortcuts and everything. So here if you see all green tick marks except one, it is supporting majority of features here, but here there are lot of cross marks, red cross marks, it is not supporting. So this is the complete difference between Dataflow Gen1 and Gen2. Okay, fine. Now with that, in this video we'll stop here, and I'll share you and I'll show you how we can create the data flows and what we can do in everything in the subsequent episodes. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like, share, comment this video. Please subscribe Next Gen Data Aspirants Community YouTube channel. Let's catch in another episode.